Hello everyone, I'm Marina and it's Sakramel School. How often do we need to redo the coating? And why we shouldn't wear it for too long? And what are the consequences if you wear your nails for 8 weeks? You will learn in this video, so give it a thumbs up and let's get into it. Correction must be done at the right time. The longer the nails, the more preferable it is to do a manicure. The free edge is growing, and there is more pressure on it. There may be breaks to the very root, just like on my model's nails. Before coming to me, she protected the nail with a band-aid, so not to tear it off. Because along with the crack, the nail bed is also damaged, so it hurts a lot. Examine the crack first, if it's too big, and if the nail bed is damaged. In order to remove the coating and the lens, we need to glue it first. For this, you can use a special glue for tips or a base coat. I open up the crack a little, apply the base, and send it to cure in a lamp. Glue the crack together and place a UV lamp on top of it, so that the crack does not get any bigger and is fixed in this position. The base coat is cured. Now we can remove the lens and start removing gel polish with a drill bit. I remove the color and part of the base. Look how big the crack is. It reaches the middle of the nail bed. I cannot cut off the free edge and build up the nail again because the crack is much higher than the free edge line. I remove all the liftings that have appeared around the crack with an e-file. On the pinky finger, my model tried to remove the coating herself, but it did not work out that well, so she left the pinky finger as it is and decided to wait for the correction procedure. I must admit that despite the fact that the base has been worn for a while, it holds up well, there are no liftings. On a thumb, we can see a material shrinkage, but I don't think that the nail tech made a mistake. It happened because of the nail growth and the pressure on the free edge. Gel polish stretches and sags over time, and such dips appear. On the thumb of the right hand, under the coating, I can see a small lifting. In order to remove it, I thin out the coating under it. And after that, carefully, with the tip of a bit, I go along the borderline. Thus, the lifting falls off itself. My model's cuticle is thin and wet, so I will do a combined manicure. Using a flame drill bit, I lift up the cuticle and clean out the pterygium. If the cuticle is wet, the drill bit often gets clogged with the skin. So I use a buffer to clean up the drill bit. In the forward position, I processed all the left sides. Now turn off the speed, switch the rotation direction to reverse, and process the right sides of the cuticle. The thing with this particular cuticle type is that there is no cuticle, but there is a lot of pterygium, so you need to remove it completely. So not to file a lot and do it faster, you can remove the free edge with a clipper, especially on the index fingers, where there are big cracks on the nail bed. It's better not to move them so that the client doesn't feel pain. I draw a line along 3 phalanges through the center of the cuticle. The nail goes to the side. I need to fix it to the opposite one, making rounding moves in both directions. At the gross points, move downwards so that it does not lift further. The nail split a bit, since I removed all the liftings around it. I will also apply the base coat and cure it, since I can't file in this position. And maybe I don't even need to do it here. Just apply gel or gel polish, polymerize, and then file the shape. I shape the remaining nails, compare them in pairs with the other hand, and if I see that the nail is longer, I shorten it so that they are all the same. Check the symmetry of the nails not only from the position in which you file them, but also turn the client's hand away. And file in this position too. Before the cut, I polish the nail plate with a buffer, removing the filing leftovers from the bottom of the nail. Cut the cuticle. For this, I'm using tweezer scissors. I place them under the cuticle and go in a single cut. In order to polish small hangnails, I will use a silicone carbide drill bit. Forward position, the speed is 5 to 7,000 RPM. There was a bit of dry skin on the thumb fold, but now, after polishing, there is none of it left. In our case, the nails are long, and to avoid breaking, we will strengthen them with a hard gel. Apply all the necessary adhesive products, a dehydrator, and a primer. Apply the primer only on the natural nail. Where the base coat does not peel off and holds on well, there is no need to apply it. On the index finger, strengthening with gel is not enough, since it may crack again. We won't risk and repair this nail with silk. I apply a thin layer of the base and don't cure it. I cut off the required piece of fiberglass or silk, separate it from the paper substrate. I normally do it with scissors or a brush. You can also use tweezers. Apply it to the area with the crack. At this stage, it's important to soak the silk well with the material. It should become clear. With such strengthening, the chance of breaking is lower. Send it to the lamp to cure for 30 seconds. And we've got such a patch. You can also soak it with an additional thin layer of the material. Then I will cover it with sculpting gel. It almost disappeared when we soaked it completely. I apply a thin layer of the base coat on the rest of the nails. For strengthening, I will use medium consistency camouflage gel. Apply the material on the brush and coat the nail with a thin layer, moisturizing the surface. Now, I grab a big drop, put it on the nail, and spread it from the cuticle with the tip of the brush. So there is no layering, but a smooth transition, spreading the material, aligning the nail plate with the base. I'm using a separate brush and hard gel. The technique is the same. Our task is to form an even architecture. If we can see an even highlight, then everything is correct. If needed, you can turn the hand over so that the material flows to the highest point, the apex. In order to prevent the gel from flowing under the cuticle and lateral sinuses, I lower the nail down a bit. Since it can result in a lifting later, carefully spread the gel with a brush. Our task is to lay out the material without filing. When strengthening with gel, the layer turns out to be a little thicker than when using the base. Always apply a thicker layer, especially around the nail perimeter, near the cuticle, lateral sinuses, and on the free edge. If you apply a thin layer, the material can easily chip. Since it's hard gel and not a rubber base, there should be no shrinkage of the material. Even if there is, then very little. Remove the tacky layer. At this stage, you can file something if you don't like it. I need to fix the shape on the index finger. On the middle and ring fingers, we will do a marble design and apply color on the rest of the nails. As a background for the marble, I apply white color. On the palette, I mix black gel polish with a clear top coat and paint the patterns that remind marble, so that there are no clear borderlines, as if with a shaking hand. Cure in the lamp. I mix pink gel polish with a clear top and make accents on the marble. Blur in the borders. With pink, there is a much more interesting effect. I would even say that it looks fancier than a regular marble. But it's still beautiful. And goes really well with our main shade. Now send to cure. And now, using a darker shade or just black, add a few fine lines, emphasizing the texture. The lines should be very thin, but mind that they shouldn't be straight. Send to cure. As decor, I will add stickers and spiderweb design. I apply random lines with a gel paste, pulling it well, make a thin thread, touch the nail, and quickly release the hand. So we get these uneven abstract lines. To make sure there is an even surface on the nails with the design, I align them with a top coat. Here's the result. Nail correction must be done once every 3-4 weeks. It all depends on how fast the nails grow. For some, just after 2 weeks, the coating looks the same as a month old for the others. Write in the comments if you like this manicure, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications on new videos. Success in your work! Bye bye!